Man, it feels good to be back. I don't know about you all, but like the first week of LCS is always kind of a fun one, especially when we are in this cadence of the regular season where you have like 7, 8 weeks of this kind of cycle going through things. It allows things to ebb and flow a little bit more without the pressure of like a jam-packed lock-in schedule or an international tournament. It's just, you can take a step back and breathe and kind of digest some of these series a little bit more. Or in our case, you watch them at a bar, ask a bunch of questions to each other, which I want to propose some of those questions to you all as my takeaways from this weekend. Obviously, a long time to go in this split, but just some off the top thoughts that we had when watching this all together, which, by the way, shout out to everybody that was at the bar watching with us. Shout out to Roxanne as well, who covered our bar tab and food as well. She's just absolutely incredible and honestly just a fantastic time. But anyways, to the questions. First and foremost, does Cloud9's win inspire confidence for you all, or is it kind of the maintaining of the status quo? And what I mean by this is, granted, I did not watch the series live. I watched it in the highlights, so the emotion of the moment's not going to hit as much for me. So that's why I'm turning this one specifically over to you all. It looked to me like C9 kind of felt like the C9, the regular season that we've kind of seen for the last the last four splits-ish, if you include lock-in as its own separate thing, where Thanatos absolutely popped off. It is great to see him perform at an insane level, but it feels like C9 in the regular season just kind of does this, where they beat top teams. They look fantastic throughout. It's not until the pressure's really on that it becomes a problem. But within these series, you can still look and see individual signs of possible struggle and issue for them. This is not me belittling a win in any way, shape, or form. I'm really happy that C9 won this one because I think it makes the split way more interesting than if Lion had just straight up won it to begin with. But this is to the C9 fans who do watch my content. How do you all feel after this week? Because my interpretation was after game two, midway through game two, this should have been lost. Like, it's great that they came back and won and obviously took the entire series. Cool. But do you worry? Because there's another team that I'll talk about later in this video or possibly on Wednesday that I'm a little bit more worried after how the series went. It's not that you ever expect things to be clean, but it's just like when warning signs are there, they just sometimes stick out in your mind a little bit more. For Lion, like, again, I predicted this exact scoreline. I'm just saying. I said 2-1 C9. It felt like the regular season. Felt like there was a little bit more to prove. Everything kind of came true on that part. Lion felt a little bit more disjointed, which typically happens for a lot of these teams after they go to an international event. It's been the case for a bit now. And Dokal also had a stinker series, which didn't help whenever I literally just went on like a whole rant 48 hours prior about the whole Berserker getting his green card thing and how that really shouldn't like just immediately mean that everybody's looking at pieces of Lion to possibly replace with a potential import. I hate that philosophy. Overall, I think Lion's fine. Yes, Dokal had a dud series, but they'll be fine long term. My second question to you all. Do you like MILFs? Okay, that might seem like a weird thing, and I know my wife sitting in the other room is probably thinking, what the hell did he just say? No, I say this for a reason. FlyQuest released an apparel line this past week that was designed by some of their players. They basically gave, well, I don't know if this was actually Carly doing it or whether like the promo video that they put out was true, that yes, this was Griffin putting it out there, but he had a slogan that has, "Man, I love FlyQuest. MILF." written all over the shirt in big bold letters. I think it's genuinely one of the most insane but awesome things that I've ever seen put out from an esports content apparel point of view. I know everybody that I know that is like genuinely interested in esports and also like willing to buy esports apparel saw that shirt and wanted to get it, which is a testament to how simple we are as people to be able to just sell merch like that. But do you also like what FlyQuest put out on the Rift this week? Because I don't think many of us expected them to contend with with Team Liquid Alienware the way that they did in this series, specifically the bot lane from Masu and Cryogen. I'm not sure whether this was, I do know. This was a really int play from Core JJ and Yawn. One of the most int bot lane plays that I think I've seen in a long period of time. But FlyQuest did a very good job from that moment on of making sure that Griffin was bot lane, diving and taking advantage of it. It allowed them to win game two. And there were parts of this series versus TL that I genuinely thought that FlyQuest might be able to win. I was a little bit kind of like, a little scary at times. Granted, maybe that's my nerves speaking as like, first split cheering on Team Liquid as a team. And I'm just sitting there like waiting for kind of like a problem to arise, which used to kind of be a thing that I had an issue with early days on with 100 Thieves before I kind of got over that phase. But on the flip side of that, FlyQuest fans, I mean, you lost the series, but you lost the series that I think most people were kind of expecting you to lose. How you feeling? I would assume pretty decent, right? I mean, I'll talk about FlyQuest's opponent in the next particular section of this video, but I don't know. I left this week feeling like decent about them. They definitely feel a little raw around the edges at points, but overall, again, still enough sparks to kind of give you that little bit of motivation, right? Speaking of the sparks, oh man, can we all just agree that DSG is fun to watch? Like, they're just so fun. And that's what happens when you have good NA rookies. I already put out a YouTube short on this, and I know it's going to be a little bit of regurgitation of information, but like, this is why, like, I think rookie projects, when done right, and massive shout out to Ido, who's the coach of Disguised, who helped put this roster together. Obviously, you know, there were some other people that they were considered, but like, this build of this roster, how some of these guys feel like they're being enabled, how well they're playing, like, it's just a testament to how well put together this whole thing is, which kind of, again, sucks for DSG because everybody's on a 1-year contract, and you hope that maybe something changes for DSG, that maybe they can find funding or something. I don't, grassroots funding, not venture capital, but something to try and like keep building these guys up. But this is what rookies should, like, if we had a good amount more of them, this is what it should be, where your bottom teams, like, look at last place right now, and we'll get to them in a minute, but like, on Dignitas, you have Palafox, you have XU, who has been an in and out rookie, or in and out like younger player for a bit. You have Photon, who's been a veteran in the little esports space, FBI and Ignar. You look at Sentinels, a ton of veterans there as well. You do have a younger player on Dark Wings, but you have somebody like Impact. You have Huki, who's been around for a bit. Like, you have older players. When these rookies come in and they look fantastic against them, that's great. It's so good for NA as a whole. Luckily, these players have personality as well. The Vayne pocket pick for Sajeb, which after tweeting about, I learned that apparently he's really good at it in NACL. So I'm assuming this is a pick that most teams would probably be scouted and prepped for. But like, for us as fans, like, we're learning a lot in these individual moments. This is what you want to see. You want to see these rookies, you know, surpassing the vets of the space. Obviously, they have work to do to be able to challenge the top teams in the league, but overall, it's great. And also, I want to take this moment to quickly speak on Sentinels versus DSG, which for whatever reason seems to be kind of like a naturally budding rivalry. Like, the series itself is or all-time series between the two is very close. It's literally a game off, and the game off is the one that DSG won to win this series. So like, that's the only differential here. The thing is, without bad blood, it doesn't feel like a rivalry. For right now, it just is like, okay, we're trying to put these two together to like try and form some sort of rivalry. But unless something is said between the players, like, it's more just like, okay, these two teams are close and always have historically been, kind of like a conference rivalry thing rather than like an actual villain, like two people hate each other in any capacity. But I love everything that I've seen from both of these teams playing each other. They're like proverbially in the middle soup category per Mark Z, but it's just fun to watch. DSG, man. Oh, just a lot of fun. And next week, by the way, DSG versus FlyQuest. Okay, FlyQuest obviously 0-1 after the loss to TL, but look like they could possibly take that series, and you're going against the DSG, who very much is still in the middle with you. So this is going to be a big series next weekend that should be a blast to watch all the way through. I'm not sure who I favor at the moment. I think most people will probably go DSG. I need to look into this a little bit more. But for now, I'm just like, I'm excited. This is my most anticipated matchup of the, actually, no, I take that back. I forgot about the other one that exists. At number 4, we got to go negative briefly. What do you say about Dignitas? Yeah, that'll be my question. What do you say about this in particular? Nothing about their just absolutely brutal beating on behalf of Shopify Rebellion was interesting to watch, and some of the plays that were being made specifically by XU and Palafox, who people had questions on coming into the split. I mean, it's just tough. Like, I know a lot of these guys on Twitter now, so I want to be like polite, even though it's like third party, like knowing and just having conversations. But like, it's tough to look at this and see any sort of like optimism after that series. Like maybe that's a testament to Shopify playing incredibly well, and time could age that to, make Shopify look even better than they currently already did in this particular series. Maybe Zinni is now the guy already. So, Dignitas will be able to get wins over somebody else going into the future. But then you look at who they got next week, and it's like, yeah. I hope their content's good. Like, this was my whole preseason thing, was like, for Dignitas, like, you can't expect this roster as it stands to sit here and do anything other than possibly try and contend for playoffs. And when after week 1, the general community is going to be out in terms of their opinion on you already, how are you going to manage content, the brand, and beyond without this just being a waste of the next 6 months and that perception continuing? What are you going to do to fight back against it? So my eyes very much are on, Dig's social media content output over the next 3 or 4 days to try and combat this, because you are doing damage control for what is otherwise like just not good. And it's not like the Jets or the Browns in the NFL where like people can make a headline out of talking about how bad certain teams or certain aspects of like their organizations in the NFL are. In this situation, like, I can't even put like Dig in the thumbnail and it gets extra views. Like that's I'm telling you the level of interest that exists here. So I don't know what they're going to do to meme this, to take it serious, to do whatever they want to do. I don't know, but they got to do something, because you can't let that be the only thing that controls the narrative for the entire week. Good luck. It's the best thing I can say. And my final question for this week is, how spicy is the MVP race going to be? Because, oh my God, after 1 week, we've already got some strong performances that we've seen so far. I mean, granted, I think MVP voting now goes through finals, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a change that was made last year. I don't know if that's continuing this year, so I could be speaking out of my butt on that one. But just look at the players that I would like to shout out from amazing performances this week. First and foremost, Jose Giotto from TL. Okay, that Lee Sin pocket pick on Zig's level. I know some Reddit comments have already pointed that out, but you could go back in the Coast stream and watch it. We said it at the bar too. For those of you that might come at me and say, I had a conversation about this on Reddit the other day. Somebody's like, I feel like you regurgitate some of the things that are said in like the top threads of Reddit. It's like, well, I said it in the bar whenever he picked the Lee Sin. So you can think I'm regurgitating that, but the reality is, like, I'm just telling you, like, common opinion. Jose looked fantastic throughout this entire series. Jose and Quid in general looking amazing. Zinni after 1 week. Now, granted, it was against Palafox, and time will tell. Next week he goes up against Quid. So we will see whether he's able to have another week like this. But Zinni looked fantastic in their debut performance this split against Dignitas, and getting their first 2-0 win and first like game win of the entire year so far. Inspired, even in the loss to C9. Just think you got to look at him as a continuous MVP candidate. Even though they lost to C9, again, you expect them to look a lot better as the split goes on against obviously worse teams. And Inspired, like, every time we listen to the voice comm cut in, just continues to be the leader for this team. And also Thanatos. I mean, just, dude, his week 1 was incredible. Thanatos played amazing the entire time. Don't have enough good words to say about him. It's just a matter, like, it's unfortunate with C9 that it very much is a topic of like waiting to see if they perform when it matters most. But during the regular season, dude, are they fun to watch. DSG, I feel like it was very much a team effort, so I don't think there's anybody that I like really want to shout out from there. Obviously the rookies played great, but in general, I think everybody across that whole squad did throughout the series. But yeah, early MVP race. I mean, Jose Giotto is already the most popular face in this league. If he performs like this all split, there's a chance he could possibly be the most popular player and MVP, which then we have to have a conversation, because I think a lot of people don't understand how big this guy is in terms of personality for the space. But those are my questions for the week. Let me know your answers down in the comments below. Be sure to drop a like when you're on your way down there and hit that subscribe button. And I'll be back on Wednesday for another episode of The Arbor, where we're going to talk about everything TL related. I'm excited for that one, especially after today's series, because there's so many things I want to say that I'm trying to hold off from this video just to save it for that particular moment. And then we'll be back for the pit on Friday, as well as, again, 2 shorts every single day. Other than yesterday, because I was golfing with my dad and I forgot to do them on YouTube. But I did have them on TikTok. I will never break that streak. Anyways, catch you all around. See you later. Bye-bye.